What's going on, Morgan Hill? This is Nima Moridi with the Moridi team coming at you live with your July market update. Happy 4th of July, folks. Man, the heat wave is back. It's getting warmer out over here. I'm sure a lot of folks are, getting back onto those hiking trails up at Harvey Bear or trying to hit Lake Anderson, at least those trails in the area while they're retrofitting the dam right now. If you folks noticed, last month in June, the Federal Reserve left the benchmark interest rate unchanged, meaning they didn't elevate it or decrease it. Now, I'm curious to see what they end up doing in July. Are they going to keep it unchanged, or are they going to increase? I mean, I remember hearing about Paul Volcker back in the 70s, and he was the head of the Fed at that time, and his target inflation rate was 4%. So it's curious to see why Jerome Powell has a target inflation rate of 2%, considering what's been going on in the economy. I mean, man, they're taking a sledgehammer to it. I see the inflation rate, fortunately, coming down more and more. However, I wonder what's going to make them give and just take the foot off the gas and say, hey, enough is enough. We've done enough here. Curious to see. So I'll continue to monitor these figures, and I'll report that back next month to you. Overall, though, I've noticed that the prices have been increasing over the past 3 months for single-family homes and condos and townhomes in the area. So we're still seeing a nice, healthy real estate market here locally. And speaking of that healthy real estate market, let's get into the numbers. I'm going to report the single-family home data first to you folks. So the median list price for those new listings coming on the market is $1,424,900. So, I mean, if you want to round up a little bit, think $1,425,000. And that's down substantially from last month that I reported $1,770,000, which to me, when I reported that, I'm like, okay, clearly there must be something wrong with the numbers here, because the average single-family home coming on the market in Morgan Hill being over 1.7 million seemed a little weird and off. So I'm glad to see that the data is coming back up. I think we just had a smaller sample size and the data was skewed a bit with the more luxury listings. The price per square foot, though, comes out to $632 for the month of July. Last month I had reported $623, so that's up a bit. Again, which makes more sense. We're seeing that inflated list price come down and the price per square foot increasing. So at the end of the day, what they're selling at seems to be more accurate, with respect to market value. The median days on the market, 28. So the average single-family home is sitting on the market for about 4 weeks before a buyer's coming in and getting into contract on that. Last month, I had reported 14, so we're double the days on the market month over month. The price reductions, 34%. That's actually considered a pretty healthy market when a third of the single-family homes here in town are taking a price cut. And that actually goes for any town. If a third of the inventory is taking a price cut, is considered a healthy, balanced market. So that's, average, normal to see. In June, though, we were at 20%. So we're clearly seeing an increase in that with respect to price reductions. 41 single-family homes were for sale when I checked this morning for the month of July in our beloved town of Morgan Hill. The inventory has held steady month over month because last month I reported the same number. So whatever's getting taken off the market is coming back on. So, and I'm a neighbor. I live in Morgan Hill. I love this town. My son goes to school here. I go to jiu-jitsu. I go to a jiu-jitsu academy down here when I am local. And, if you ever see me in line at Safeway or at Starbucks, please say hi. I love chatting with the neighbors. But that was me going off on a tangent. Let's get back to the data because that's why you tuned in. The demand has remained unchanged overall. So the inventory has remained unchanged and the demand has also remained unchanged. It doesn't mean it's low. It's still high demand, but it just hasn't increased or decreased month over month. The fastest selling, though, out of the homes in Morgan Hill, I noticed that there was a few around 1,900 square feet on a 7,000 square foot lot-ish. Think of your 3-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 2-bath type of layout. Those were on the market for 14 days, those few homes, and then they got into contract. So that's half of the average. So what does that tell me? Buyers out there, they're on the fence and they're looking for properties that really make sense for them with respect to price, layout, schools, proximity to employment, and if it makes sense for them, they're jumping on it. That tells me that we aren't having a demand situation. It's more of a buyer inventory situation. That means the demand is there. It's just there's not enough inventory for buyers to jump on the homes. So if we had an increase in inventory, we'd have more buyers essentially flooding the market and writing more offers and buying more homes. So that was the single family home data.
Hey folks, I'm so sorry to interrupt the video, but I had to tell you about this really cool product that I have called HomeBot. Now, I use this for all of my past clients. It essentially breaks down all of your financial metrics and insights for the home, whether it's the current mortgage rate, amount of equity you've made, the amount of savings you've made as being a homeowner, and percentage of principal to interest that you've paid off on the loan. There's a lot of metrics that this provides, and it's much better than those websites like Zillow and Redfin as well, because outside of all those metrics that I had just referenced, those websites can be off by like 10% plus or minus. I'm talking the most accurate data that you can get, customizable alerts about when rates drop, and if you were to refinance, how much money you can save, the equity you've made on the property, home equity lines of credit, like if you're looking to trade up or down with your existing property, or you want to pull some money out through a HELOC and go in and buy an investment. If you're interested in this, please reach out to me, because I would give you a monthly report of all of this information, obviously free of charge. My past clients love it. I'd love to offer it to you. So reach out if this sounds interesting. Let's get back to it.
Let's jump over to the condos and townhomes. Those were coming on the market at $904,000 for the month of July. Last month I had reported $965,000, so we're down around 60 grand month over month. The price per square foot comes out to $524 per square foot. In June I had reported $537, so that's down a bit as well. Median days on the market though, 7 days. That means the average condo and townhome is sitting on the market for only 7 days and getting into contract. Well, last month we were at 32. Again, some wonky data, which seemed a little higher for me. So, I like to see it more regulated for the month of July. The price reductions though, 18%. That means close to a fifth of the homes are entertaining a price cut before a ready, able, and willing buyer is coming in and writing an offer and getting into contract on that listing. While last month in June, I had reported 10%. This morning, I checked, we had 11 condos and townhomes for sale in town. Last month, we had 10. So the inventory is hovering around the same, it's staying pretty steady. We do have, though, a significant increase in demand for those condos and townhomes. What that tells me is buyers are, really big on getting into home ownership. They want to start building equity for themselves. I always say you're always paying a mortgage, either your own or somebody else's. And clearly they want to start building that equity. They've seen the gains that folks have been obtaining in this area. Folks, we have to remember, in Santa Clara County, we have the highest amount of equity than anywhere else in the country. So people are making so much money off of their homes while living in it, living in their shelter essentially, and people want to tap into that, and I don't blame them. I'd want to do the same thing. The few fastest listings though that I've noticed, the ones that have been selling the quickest in town for those condos and townhomes, there were a few 1,600 square feet and a few 1,900 square feet properties. Think of your 3-bed, 2-bath, or 3-bed, 3-bath layouts. Those sold after literally 0 days on the market. That means that most likely, a buyer came in with a strong preemptive offer and took it off the market before there was an offer deadline because they, really wanted that home. So again, that goes back to what I had mentioned. We don't have a buyer demand problem. We have an inventory problem. And clearly you can see when the average days of the market is 7 days, which is pretty fast, but these ones were selling within the same day of getting listed. Overall, folks, I geek out over this data. I love Morgan Hill. Raised my family here. My family lives here. My parents live down over here too. I call Morgan Hill a small town with a big heart. And if you folks think I missed anything, please drop me a line and I will read them, I comment, and I will include it in my next video because I make these videos for you folks. I want to ensure that it's valuable data and it's something that you want to tune into. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next month in August. Thank you.